for the greater good. Point us at our targets. I will lead us to victory.
Hey Strat fans, it's me, Colonelstrat, the strategy extraordinaire here, and we're back at Warhammer Gladius. So for today's video, we're going to dive into one of my personal favorites for the tabletop, the Tau. The Tau get a lot of hate, but I actually like the Blue Boys, even though they take a lot of inspiration from Japanese Shinto and Communist, and they have a lot of those influences baked into their character, but I think they're a really cool race, a really cool Xeno faction. Anybody who likes Gundams and shit will like the Tau. I just like their aesthetic too. That's what drew me to them originally, but they're really good. So today in Gladius, they have a very unique way of playing. They have their Utopia effect, which increases their loyalty for a new building, but if you have too many duplicates, it'll trash your loyalty as well. So you have to be careful with that. They can convert auxiliaries from Vespids or Kroot Hounds and stuff, just wild animals in the world, which is great. Their greater good diplomatic buff helps them crush enemy unit morale. They can subvert a city. That effect reduces the authority and reduces the enemy city loyalty, which can cause them to riot. And their Tide Wall Shield Line effect allows them to reflect range damage back for their cities and their outposts. They have supporting fire, which gives them more adjacency. Basically, their firing lines are able to coordinate, so if you have a couple Tau units together, they're going to be able to do more damage with supporting fire. They also can mark their targets to do more damage. Their bonding knife ritual allows them to sacrifice your individual gain of the unit to provide a bonus for your faction. They also have drones, which have a bunch of offensive, defensive ways, and tactical support drones, and the drones allow them to really rapidly give them battlefield support. Their trade goods mechanic allows them to purchase resources and even get prostalize population, which allows them to artificially inflate their population, which is really good. Their support systems also allow them to put a system in a battle suit. Their battle suits are really, really effective. They're kind of a middle challenge. They're not super challenging, but they're not super hard. They're not super easy either, because the Tau lack any melee combat. They have to rely on auxiliaries like Kroot or Vespid or anything that they can convert to their side. But the Tau are very diplomatic as well, but their range weaponry is superb. You just got to make sure that the enemy doesn't close to melee. Like orcs, Tyranids, things like that have a lot of good melee are going to be dunking on the Tau. So let's dive into the Tau, and I'm going to walk you through how to play them in Gladius.
Never have the Tau been so close to extinction. Your homeworlds are surrounded. The Swarm, the machines, men. To ensure the survival of the Tau, your fleet was dispatched. The fourth expansion, to claim new rich worlds. Yet the warp swallowed us. Your ship emerged alone, war-ravaged, alien. This was not the paradise promised, but you will conquer it. For the Tau, for the greater good, for your survival.
I do love how you're seen as a Tau that was marooned on a planet that you weren't expected to. So the 4 spheres of expansion for the lore geeks out there, that's the new sphere of expansion for the Tau, and it kind of got shot off course on the Gladius. I like that. It ties it in. So start off with the builder drones here. We're going to pick a city. We need crops. Whatever. We're going to have to deal with this.
The Firecast serve with pride.
The Firecast serves with pride. All right, we did get the trader encampment, which is good. Again, as Tau, we can get trade, we can purchase resources and shit. So let's claim a couple areas. We'll claim this Necron tomb. Try to keep the Necrons from getting it if they are here. Claim that one, and that'll be it for now. So we're gonna keep these fire warriors close. These are our first guys. They're supporting fire, increases their damage against enemy units adjacent to their allied units. So basically, they get 20% buff to attacks if they have an allied unit next to them. So if an enemy unit is adjacent to this guy and you shoot him with this guy on the side, you do 20% increased damage. So keep these guys close together. You don't have to keep them on top of each other, but you do have to keep them close. Their range is pretty far for the pulse rifles. Their range is 2, most range is 1. They have pretty good accuracy too. Their armor penetration is decent. Their morale is decent. They got okay armor. Not super great. Let's go up here. There's some guys to test out. Alright, keeping these fire teams together is going to be pivotal.
Ready, fire!
I do like their little effect right there. And then we can convert in auxiliaries, recruit hounds, or Vespid stingwings. I believe, yeah, the cost, it's influence cost. For the greater good, reduces your target's enemy morale, cost scales with their strength, subvert a city, and reduces loyalty. So helps out with conquering places. You can subvert the loyalty, increase the chance of their rebelling. You can also use for the greater good to try to demoralize enemy unit. For the first research, the bonding knife ritual grants this ritual to all of our basic units. Again, like we saw in their description, they sacrifice a bit of their health, I believe. I don't know, I haven't really used it as much. I've only played them once, so I'm going to see what this does as well. But for the first tier 1, I usually get the Shanar pole stasis, so you can get your heroes out. The photon grenade is good. These are blinding grenades, which will reduce the enemy's accuracy. It's really good against shooter enemies. The arsenal helps reduce your ground vehicles, so these are pretty much staples. If you want to, you can get wisdom shared, grants the ability to purchase research with influence. Influence is your big ticket item for the Tau, so you're able to buy research. Eventually you're able to buy population and food right here, many mouths with influence, so it helps out. Influence is one of the resources you want to maximize as the Tau. First thing I'll get is the stasis, so we can get our heroes out, and then I'll get the arsenal, and then photon grenade or bonding knife ritual. That's usually what I'll go with. I do like the neophytes. Alright, so that's what I do for my first tier. Let's see, the shrouded. We're going to go through the process through this turn. Their first quest is to get this.
Here. Your ship was an ark, carrying the races and ideas of the Tau to new worlds, following Commander Shostrike's fleet. You should be with him and your Fourth Sphere comrades, proselytizing the greater good to new souls. Instead, in the Vashonan, the space between the stars, a dream of corruption swallowed the fleet. Your auxiliaries were lost or twisted to darkness. And in that timeless nightmare, an impossible, many-handed being saved your ship.
Many-handed
alone of the fleet. Landed it here, on this Gwela hive world, ruined by war, full of hostile aliens, and trapped by storms. As the ranking chasseur not in stasis, the ethereal Ondak has named you commander. He assigns you a new task, to take this planet for the Tau. But first, he demands that you chase down your errant auxiliaries.
Okay, that's a lore moment right there. Basically, I think it was in the lore that a being of the greater good was created in the warp by humans believing in it, and that's what saved this Tau fleet. That's really cool. I like how they tie that in. Anyway, that's our first chapter, is to practice converting. I'm going to try to convert when I have enough influence. I'll go through the tech tree a couple turns, and then I'll return. All right, now we made it to tier 2. So when we go up to tier 2, we get some pathfinders, which help us scout, and they have scouting abilities and some advanced drones. The thorium pods, it's our basic population limit. Many mouths, which allows us to purchase food with influence, which is good. The gun drones, they give them ability to deploy temporary basic gun drones, which help a lot. The ethereal, which is a hero unit that heals and compels troops to excel, so it's a very buffy unit, and I usually get the ethereal because they're really good at keeping my troops in line, as well as morale hyped up. EMP grenade, these are anti-vehicle grenades for pathfinders and fire warriors, really good at dealing with enemy vehicles like the dreaded sentry robots. Even though they don't do that much against them, they still can help. They do crack their armor just a little bit. So for this one, I usually go with the ethereal, just for a staple. Many mounts if I'm struggling with food, which I am right now. The gun drones help out a lot. They're a nice ability. Pathfinders are cool, but fire warriors do more damage. I mean, the scouting abilities are good to have one pathfinder, but I really don't use them as much as I would for other ones. So I usually go ethereal, and then many mounts or gun drones, depends on what you guys want. So now what we've done is we took a little bit of casualties against those neophytes, but we did take them out. I'm going to use my influence to convert this auxiliary here.
You are studying a dissected Vespid when Kodaron of the Aircast arrives. His slender frame looms over the body, recoiling a
I don't need to hear that monologue. I'll let you guys listen to that monologue when you play these guys. Now we have our Vespid here. These Vespid are really good. Their neon blasters are decent, but their melee is what really helps them. They have more cargo slots, they're bulky, they can move through cover, they ruin stealth, hit and run, they have a jump pack, a fly attack, so that's good as well. These guys are good to have, and having the greater good is really, really good, because you can face some real shortages if you don't. Fire team standing by. Let's see them attack the gate here. We don't really have much else. Let's see the Vespid in action. Oh. Their blasters are pretty powerful, but they have a lot of hit points compared to our fire warriors, so they're going to be good. They have an extra 5 hit points. They're going to be good for taking the brunt of the damage. And while we're doing that, we're building up the city. We're producing some fire warriors. We're getting the stasis built. We're going to build the arsenal. Eventually, we're going to get the hydroponics as well, so we can get more out. But our influence is doing really good. So that's the thing with the Tau. You can supplement your food and you can supplement all your other things, but you have to keep that influence up. You have to, or else if you suffer on influence, you're gonna hurt, because influence can be used to build pretty much buy everything else. So you don't really have to worry about all these other things. Like, yeah, I should probably worry about food, but I think I'm gonna build one farm here and we'll make it a priority. There, just move it around a little bit so we can get our farm out and get some food, even though this terrain sucks for food. All right, I'll catch you guys when I reach tier 3 and we'll go from there. All right, here we are with our tier 3. Tier 3 really opens up. There's a lot of different options. So we have the 2N totem, which just increases your loyalty. It's their loyalty building. The devilfish, which is a nice tank unit, kind of like used as a skimmer. So it's used as a fast transport infantry unit. The devilfish is pretty good. It's got anti-infantry capabilities and it's fast too. So it covers a lot of tiles. Shield drones are really good for deploying a temporary shield. It increases your unit's defensive capabilities and armor just for a temporary time. The Taurox riders, they're a very sneaky unit, but they have both ranged and close combat, and they're really good. The Taurox are really good. I actually think they're better at melee, to be honest with you, because their cannon is a little inaccurate, but they still pack a punch, kind of like the Ogryn's cannon. The commander, the nice jump pack hero, coordinates your meta strategies, and those are his different abilities, or the different strategies. You can also unlock builder drones to make new cities, and a shield for all allows you to purchase ore with influence, which, like I said, you'll be able to eventually purchase everything with influence. So for these ones, I usually get the commander or the Taurox riders first, because these are pretty good. The shield drones are a must when you're dealing with a lot of ranged heavy foes, which I am dealing with right now. And then you'll want to eventually get the builder drones and maybe a shield for all if you're suffering with ores. I'm not right now, so I can let that one go, but I'll start with the commander, and then I'll probably get Taurox riders, and then the builder drones, or the shield drones, one of the two. If you want to expand first, or if you need the shield capabilities, it's up to you guys. Alrighty, so that's what I have for that. Now I did also tame some Kroot hounds here. These guys are able to infiltrate pretty well. They're fast. They can move through cover. They have a lot more hit points than regular Tau, which is good. Their morale is lower, but they do have a lot of melee attack. So their armor penetration is 0, but they do have a lot of attacks, so they're able to do a lot of base damage. We've pushed through, gotten a few areas here with the Vespids, and pretty much haven't been able to recruit that many units because I have to still get my hero units out, so we'll be able to show those in tier 4. So I'll catch you guys when I reach tier 4. Alright, here we are at tier 4. Now for tier 4, we get some of the best units. The Crisis battlesuits are a mainstay for the Tau. These jet infantry units, they have short range weapons, yes, but they are very versatile and they can have different ways to approach any situation, because you can equip them with things to do with anti-infantry or anti-armor, so they're very versatile. The Mortarium accelerators increases your armor penetration of your fusion, ion, plasma, and pulse, which is really good for dealing with heavily armored units such as Space Marines. The marker drones, good for marking enemies for increased damage. This foundry here, this is just a basic building, and then dissemination increases your tile acquisition. So of course I'm going to get the Crisis first, and then of course depending on who you're facing, if you're facing squishy enemies like guard or orcs, then I wouldn't get the Mortarium, but since I'm facing both Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines, I'm going to have to get it next. So that, and then I'll do the marker drones whenever I get a chance. I do have to go back and get the Devilfish and the shield drones to help, and the builder drones as well, but that's what I have. So I lost my first crew. One of these goddamn tentacle fuckers, the enslavers, took them. I'm chasing them down. I've got Imperial Bastion on my ass here. The Chaos just showed up with these boys, and the Space Marines showed up down here. I almost lost one of my Vespids. I got my other Kroot hounds here. I'm just getting them back. I still only have one place, but I'm getting better. I do have the Cadre Fireblade here. He has some pretty good abilities. He can give volley fire, increases the range attacks of him and adjacent allied infantry. It gives a nice 25% buff to your range attack. He does have a precise shot, which does a whole lot of damage to a single enemy. I think his other one is a shield or something. I think that's what it is. And we have our Ethereal. I got his heal ability first because that's really good. He also has a morale buff, so that's good too. I think he also has a buff to defense. I think that's what it is, but you want to keep these two heroes in the back. I'm going to try to get more auxiliaries so I can keep them in the front instead of my fire warriors here, because they're going to take a beating in the front. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. I have used many mouths, and now I'm starting to finally get some food, positive income. I got to worry about my energy as well, but one thing you got to think about whenever you're going up against these superior foes, try locking your Tau in one of these outposts, because if we look here, the Tidewall shield line gives a 17% damage return. So that means whenever they attack the shield line, it'll bounce back at them as well as it being an outpost, you get some more healing rate and just the basic stuff. Then they have supporting fire as well, because all these Tau are around them. So the more fire warriors and Tau units you have around, you're going to be able to get them all that buff, and that buff is great to have. So now I'm going to progress to tier 5, so I'll catch you guys in that one. Alright, now we come to tier 5, so I had to do a little bit of backtracking because I needed to get my builder drones unlocked to get all these options unlocked, because one of them is really good to get. The Tidewall gun rig is really good heavy fortification that can be built by builder drones, and it can help close gaps. It's like a Fortress of Redemption for the Space Marines or a Bastion for the Imperial Guard. Really good to have just sink in, so they're good for like a defensive playstyle. But the Crisis Center here, this building produces the monstrous creatures, big old Titan-sized Gundams. The Hammerhead gunship, though, very versatile weaponry, very good. Just like in Dawn of War, they're very good at dealing with infantry, pretty much a jack of all trades type of gunship. The Prostalize allows you to purchase population with influence, very good. Helps out with, right now I'm playing pretty tall as the Tau, so you know, it helps me build my guys back up. Extra infantry armor, of course, really good for just dealing with the enemy extra punch. Drone controller is a battlesuit support system, increases your accuracy of adjacent drones, so it helps increase the drones damage and their accuracy. So it helps, and that's only for your crisis battlesuits and stealth battlesuits and stuff like that. Even the broadsides help as well. So I usually go for the Tidewall and the Hammerhead, and then maybe Plasterize. All these are pretty good though. The Crisis Center you will want to get though to get your Titan units. So I'm going to start with the gun rig though, because that's probably what I need. I need to secure my southern border with the Space Marines. For this Chaos, I've destroyed one of their areas over here. I'm going after their main compound here. I got my commander out here. She does a whole lot of damage because she has the missile pod that does a lot of damage against buildings and vehicles, and then she also has the burst cannon, which does a lot of damage against infantry. It really sheds them up. I have the XV8 crisis suits here. They're really cool looking. They got the same thing except they have flamers, but eventually, because they do have a support system, you can add another support system to them, just like that drone controller support system we saw. That way you can change their flamers, I think, to plasma weapon, which is really good. Adds a lot of versatility to them. I have a flippin' enslaver, enslaved my Kroot hounds again, so gotta love that. As for my main city, doing okay, but we're losing loyalty because of destruction and from population. The Utopia is not doing as hot as it used to be. We're just trying to keep everything together. I'm going to start building some builder drones so I can produce other cities, increase my loyalty. Down here, trying our best to deal with the Space Marines encroaching up because they've pushed back a lot. They've killed my Taurox hounds, killed all my stuff. So, but that's pretty much all for now. I will come back to you guys at tier 6. All right, finally, here we are at tier 6. When we reach tier 6, we have a couple good ones. So the stealth battle suits are pretty good, and their infiltration anti-armor, they're really good for dealing with armored units like the Castellan robots, things like that. Skyray gunships that are skimmer tank, they're usually equipped with powerful missiles, and they're really good in first strikes, so like doing the first attack, and against flyers. So like anything that's flying unit, they do good against that. Sensor spines means your vehicles can move through cover. Seeker missiles are a special weapon for broadside battlesuits that you'll get later on. The counterfire defense system increases your accuracy and Overwatch attacks, and then Barkuran assemblies increase the armored penetration burst of your rail weapons, which is like hammerheads. So for tier 6, I usually go for the stealth battlesuits to help me do a bit of an extra punch against vehicles. The Skyray gunship is good against flyers, but I don't really encounter too many flyers until the late game. I usually skip on that, and then I might get the Seeker missiles for the broadsides, and the counterfire defense system is really good for your crisis suits, or the assemblies is always a good one to go for. So I usually start with battle suits, and then I'll either get like the counterfire, that's really good, or Skyray gunship, because the missiles do help with other things other than flyers. So they still are a good unit. Now I got my commander. I can do the Mont Ka. Killing blow increases your damage by 50%.
Like Tau, we shall triumph.
There she goes.
We see the location. XV8, standing by.
Let's get this XV8 to attack.
What do you need?
That does a lot of damage. And there goes the Imperial Bastion. Down it goes. There's the Umbra again. That thing's just menacing. But I have some Catechins down here, some Catechin Devils. Here's a Tidewall gun rig. This is what they look like. And if you have units cargoed in there, like Fire Warriors here, you're able to move it. But it does a lot of damage. Again, I'm just having problems with these fucking slavers just enslaving my units everywhere. But we're about to destroy the Space Marines capital here. And there they go.
In the end, the Empire's martial heroes fell, their might and fervor proving inadequate in the face of a stronger creed.
Let's gain their resources. That's the thing I usually do, is try to gain their resources after they're dead. Alright. The Space Marines, and we defeated Chaos as well over here. So Chaos was defeated, Space Marines, and I think we just have the Imperials here to deal with. I think that's all we have to deal with for right now. As far as it comes to like actual units, I did make another city. I'm building that one up to try to complement my other city, because as they get bigger, you're going to get a problem with loyalty here. And plus, I need a lot more population. So because I have less population, things aren't getting produced, so they're not liking it. So I'll go through tier 6 a little bit, and I'll come back to you guys at tier 7. All right, here we are with a tier 7. So tier 7, we can finally get the Riptide battle suit, which is very heavily armored and it's multi-purpose. It just destroys everything. It's the first big battle suit, and they're just really good. It's a monstrous creature unit, excellent fire support, multi-purpose Nova React. The Vectored Retro Thrusters is a nice support system that increases your movement and allows you to ignore zones of control, which is good for getting around enemy units that get you closed down. The Kavatra Nacelle is your aircraft building, and they can buff up your vehicle armor, of course. Equal Under the Sky allows you the trained influence for energy. The Black Sun Filter increases the sight of vehicles, ethereal, commander, pathfinder, and battle suits, just allows you to see far. So of course I'm gonna go with the Riptide battle suit, and then to get some aircraft I could do it in the cell. The thrusters is a really good way to get around things. It allows your hero units and special battle suits to get around, or you can just buff up your vehicle armor. Helps a lot. So I usually do a Riptide battle suit, and then I'll either do the nacelle or the retro thruster. So now to look at what we're doing here, I can move this one here, and we'll just show how it does against this catechin. There we go. That's like half down. I can kill this catechin devil right here. There we go. Biomass doesn't do very well against Tau at all. So that one's almost dead there.
What ails you, young one?
And then the ethereal. Kill a unit with an ethereal. Ah, that achievement. I built some builder units. I've gone around here. Finally killed that slaver that was keeping my units hostage. Here's my Taurox riders. I don't know if I showed you guys this the last time. And then I have the Lord of Skulls right here. Oh my god, this guy is insane. And he's just taking all my outposts that I took, trying to catch up to my units. Alright, let's move there. We're just going through as fast as we can all over the place, trying to see what we got. I found the Imperial Guard, just kind of squatting up there. I'm going to try to go build another city. Probably down here somewhere. Yeah, we're at turn 57, so getting a little hairy. I don't think there's anything else I have to show yet. I'm still producing the hammerheads. I have the sky rays lined up. I have stealth suits. Those will be coming soon. I also have the crisis center producing, so catch me for tier 8, and I'll show you guys all those juicy units. Alright, and here we are back with a tier 8. So for tier 8, we have the broadside battle suits, which arguably is the best infantry unit for the Tau with their long range weaponry. It's very good anti-infantry. I love the broadsides both in Dawn of War and in this game too, because they're just really good. The stimulant injector helps to give you damage reduction, so it's nice to get that one. If you're having crisis suits that are taking a lot of damage, like for armor penetration or anything, then stimulant injector can help a lot. Hammer of Wrath, we all know this one by now. This just buffs up your attacks a whole lot for all of your battle suits and everything. The Kratchkon Ambassadors reduces the influence cost for the greater good, which is really good. Blast phasing increases your armor penetration for flame and missile weapons, which is great for crisis suits because that's what they have. The automated repair system grants vehicles hit point restoration each turn for all your vehicles. So this is really good to help your vehicles, like the hammerhead and the crisis suits and all that. Battle suits, really good. So I usually go for the broadsides immediately. And then it's a toss-up between the blast phasing to buff up my crisis suits or the stimulant injector, because that's a really good damage reduction. It's up to you guys, and it's really whatever you think is going to be best, but those are the options you get. Here's the hammerhead right here. I also have the stealth suits here too. I have a lot of guys here just kind of sitting, trying to get through. We're at a good position right now. We also do have the Plastalize, which helps us get more people. Now, I do have to build a hab block for them, or else the population will just slowly die. We're gonna have to come back at tier 9 to be able to show you the hammerhead and the stealth battle suits attack. Let's go through a turn real quick. I have a lot of enemies around here, kind of moving around. Shrouded unit.
Expiate the 8 broadsides. Ready and
There's the broadsides. Now let's see if we can catch these guys. Yeah, I think we can. These guys are better. We shall prepare an ambush from there. Oh, there we go. I will show you the hammerhead tier 9, so I'll catch you guys there. All right, here we are at tier 9. Before I show it, I'm going to show you the hammerhead. That's a lot of damage. Doesn't do as heavy a damage against non-armored targets, but it's insane against the big behemoths. So, we're going to go look at our research. So what we researched, I actually went back a little bit and got some other things. Got the blast phasing and the broadside battle suits. Now, on to tier 9, the Sun Shark Bomber. It auto-marks enemies, which is always good for increased damage. Deploys interceptor drones, and it's a bomber as well, so it does pretty good against infantry, like clustered units. So it's really good. The advanced targeting system, it allows you to increase your accuracy, which I haven't seen that much poor accuracy in battle suits. But, I mean, more accuracy means more shots hit, so that's always good. Anthrazod Foundations increases your tile radius even more. Fletch Hit Discharger, it grants your ability to damage melee attackers for your vehicles, so that's really good. It's like a shock. Whenever they hit you, it's like a rebound shock. Velocity Tracker increases your range accuracy against flyers, so this is really good against flying units, which again, I haven't really, though I have encountered the Tyranids, which they have a decent amount of flying units, so might change now. So the first thing I'll get, since I have my aircraft thing, I'm going to get the Shark Bomber, because it's a really good bomber. Then I might get the Discharger, because that's really good to deal with like melee infantry, since I'm facing the Tyranids now, which have a lot of melee infantry. This will probably be good for me, but if you weren't facing Tyranids, I would either go for the targeting system or the velocity tracker, depending on what you're facing. So the big daddy I had to show was the hammerhead. They have that, and they have the burst cannon as well. You can switch them by jinking them to a different one, but the Tyranids outpost is right here. We're gonna go take it. Oh my lord, walked right into a huge swarm of Tyranids. Oh, Zoanthropes, Venomthropes. Oh my lord, let's increase the Montka, I guess, the killing blow.
They will be laid low. For the greater good!
Let's swarm up here. Oh my lord, this is a lot. Spore mines, okay.
Like Tau, we shall triumph.
And I should deal with them. Biovores are insane. I don't know why they're not attacking. Let's get our best bids out here. And then I'll get my gun rig up here as well.
We will hold. Don't worry, we are on our way.
And that'll deal with these guys. I have to shift some guys down here because that's a lot of Tyranids right here. This is a lot. Oh, all right. But we do have the Wisdom Share.
Data received.
Increase our research, so that's always good to have. So I will catch you guys at tier 10. I'm going to try to get my Titans built out. So I have my gunships, my hammerheads done. I'm building the Titans and I'm building the broadsides. I got about 12 turns in total, so I'm going to try to speed through them for you. So catch me at tier 10. All right, so for tier 10, I went ahead and got the liberty of our researching these because I was trying to build them. It takes a while to build when you have low loyalty, so, and the Tau are not great at keeping their loyalty unless you build the loyalty building. I just don't ever build it. I just swarm my game with cities and just build things that way. Anyway, I got the Storm Surge, which is insane. The Storm Surge and the Tiger Shark are the first ones I would get, but also you can't knock the Shield Generator upgrade, which gives you some invulnerable damage reduction. Regular damage reduction can be punched through with Armor Pen, but invulnerable ones can't, not at all. Seditious Research is okay. I mean, it does good against subverting enemy cities, and Diversity Unity is good for the loyalty bonus because again, you suffer from loyalty a later game. And the Disruption Pod is good at, you know, vehicle damage reduction, but Storm Surge just insane. You want to get that first, and then the Tiger Shark is really good for helping out, and then of course the Shield Generator, good for invulnerability. So I'm just going to show you the insane Storm Surge. Look at that. That's so many flipping missiles and a red gun on it. Oh. I did a good amount. And this is the Riptide battle suit. It's pretty good. It's got some shielded missile drones, a Nova Fire, which is really good, Nova Shield, a boost. And that's
down these savages.
And those are the broadsides.
Bring them down.
Those broadsides are insane as well.
United, we shall never fall.
Here, a taste of the Montka.
And then we can cycle our weapons to the Ion Cannon or the overcharged Seeker missiles, which is great.
To prosper, they must burn. The Tiger strikes.
Look at that.
That's a lot of damage.
And then we can also
Commence assault. This
Killing
fight
Blue.
ends now.
The battle is joined.
insane.
Fire support. Understood.
As well as the gunship
Drive them back.
helping out as well. And we've almost got it all the way down.
Concentrating fire. fire.
We get her down there. She'll be able to help a lot too. Destroyer missile. Okay. That does it.
What is your plan?
Oh my lord. There goes another Tyranid city. That's just insane. Such an overpowered Gundams. And they're really good against the Tyranids too. That really does it for the Tau. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide that I have for Gladius. I haven't made much Gladius content and I apologize for that. I'm going to try to make more Gladius content and cover the DLC races more. I might even start playing some Gladius games, custom game nights. Stay posted for that one, Strat fans. And of course, if you like the video, leave a comment down below, sub to the channel. And of course, remember to always keep strategic, Strat fans. Colonel out.